In this video, we are going to be looking at Chapter 1, Section 1. So I'm going to turn to my text section and just scroll over, and here is that first section of Chapter 1. This is called the method of science. This is one of the most important lessons in this book. And I do want to give credit to the source of this material. This is from Nitty Gritty Science. It is on the free online page that I have linked you to in the course. But this is courtesy of that company. They have lots of good science materials. In this video, I'm just going to read this lesson. I'm not going to annotate. I'm just going to call this the first read. I would encourage you to read along with me out loud. Find a quiet place to watch this video and read this material with me. And that will build your reading skills. It will also help you learn to pronounce words correctly. It's just a good practice to do. Just read out loud. It also increases your ability to do public speaking if you need to do that. I will tell you that I will make mistakes as I read, and I ask you beforehand to bear with me. I am dyslexic, and sometimes words just change form on me for no reason. So I'll do the best I can, but please forgive me if I have mistakes. So let's read this lesson. I'm going to enlarge it just a little bit. It's called The Nature of Science, Section 1, The Method of Science. Science is a process that uses observation and investigation to gain knowledge about events in nature. It's based on logic and evidence with the goal of providing explanations and understandings, patterns about how and why things happen. Scientists then use the information or knowledge gained to make predictions about future occurrences. Science covers three main categories: life science, earth science, and physical science. When scientists pose a question or design an experiment, they follow an organized set of investigative procedures called the scientific method. The scientific method has distinct steps. First, an observation is made that leads to a question about how or why something occurs. After asking a question, a hypothesis or educated guess or testable prediction is made. Next, an experiment is conducted that includes an organized and detailed procedure for testing the hypothesis. When conducting an experiment, a control or standard for comparison is needed. If there are too many variables changed in an experiment, then researchers aren't able to discern which variable is responsible for any results they may get. A constant is a factor that doesn't vary in an experiment. The independent variable is a factor that is adjusted by the experimenter, and it's found on the x-axis when graphing the data. The dependent variable is a factor with a value that depends on the independent variable, and it's found on the y-axis. Finally, the data collected is analyzed and conclusions are drawn. And let's read over these colored boxes. I'm starting here with ask a question. So this procedure starts right here, and you follow the arrows to follow the procedure. Okay. So first is the orange box, ask a question. An investigation begins with a scientific question you want answered. Research. Conduct research about your topic. Form hypothesis. Form an educated guess about the outcome. Experiment. Make a plan and test your hypothesis. Gather and analyze data. Record your experiment results and your observations and then review. Conclusion. Support or reject your hypothesis based on data. Share results. Report results and tell other people what you learned. Further research. Conduct further research if necessary. And then we have one more short paragraph here to read. This is the next page. Evidence from research leads scientists to propose scientific theories or explanations based on experiments. A scientific theory is a logical explanation that is based on data and not a guess. For example, when you are playing the game Clue, you might say, I have a theory that Colonel Mustard killed Mrs. Peacock in the study with the wrench. When a scientist talks about a theory, like the black hole theory, they are referring to a well-tested explanation based on observations, research, and data. A scientific law is a rule of nature that sums up the related observations to describe a pattern in nature, and it is true all the time. The law of gravity is a scientific law.